My name is Daniel Brooks, and I run a small family dairy farm just outside a quiet town in Wisconsin. My grandparents started this farm over 70 years ago, and today I continue the tradition with about 80 dairy cows. Every morning starts before sunrise, and every evening ends long after most people have gone to bed. Farming isn't just my job, it's my family's life. A few years ago, a luxury housing development was built on the land next to my farm. Soon after, a homeowners association was formed. Most of the new residents loved the country views but weren't prepared for what living beside a real dairy farm actually meant. Within weeks, complaints started arriving. They didn't like the smell after it rained. They complained about tractors using the road before sunrise. Even the sound of cows mooing became a problem. At first, I tried to be a good neighbor. I adjusted delivery times where I could, planted extra trees along the property line, and even met with the HOA board to answer questions. But nothing satisfied them. One afternoon, I opened my mailbox and found an official-looking letter from the HOA. It demanded that I reduce or remove my dairy herd because the cows were lowering neighborhood property values. I laughed. The farm had been here for decades before a single HOA house existed. The next week, another letter arrived. This time they demanded I sell the entire herd within 60 days or they would take further action. They had no legal authority over my farm, but they acted as if they owned the entire valley. Instead of arguing, I simply contacted my attorney. He smiled after reading the letter. "Daniel," he said, "they're about to learn what a right-to-farm law is." We responded with one simple sentence. Our farm operates legally under all state agricultural regulations. That should have ended the issue. Instead, the HOA filed complaints with nearly every government office they could think of: Health Department, Environmental Agency, County Planning Office, Animal Welfare, even the State Department of Agriculture. Over the next 2 weeks, inspectors visited my farm one by one. I welcomed every single one. They inspected the barns, tested the milk, reviewed veterinary records, checked manure management, examined animal health. Everything passed. Every inspector left impressed with how clean and organized a farm was. One state dairy inspector even joked, "I wish every farm looked this good." I figured that would finally settle things. Instead, something unexpected happened. During one inspection, an official asked me an interesting question. Do those new homes have proper drainage? I shrugged. I've never looked. The inspector walked uphill toward the subdivision. A few hours later, county vehicles began arriving, then state environmental officials. Apparently, runoff from the HOA construction site was flowing directly into a protected stream that supplied water to several nearby farms, including mine. The investigation expanded quickly. Inspectors discovered blocked drainage channels, illegal grading, and stormwater systems that had never been completed according to approved plans. The HOA hadn't just filed complaints against the wrong farmer. They had accidentally invited inspectors to discover violations in their own neighborhood. Within days, the development company and HOA received multiple notices requiring immediate repairs. The costs reached hundreds of thousands of dollars. Residents were furious. Not at me, at the HOA board. People began asking why the board had started a fight with a farm that had done absolutely nothing wrong. At the next HOA meeting, several board members resigned after facing angry homeowners demanding answers. A month later, I received one final letter. This one wasn't a threat. It was an apology. The HOA officially acknowledged that my dairy farm was protected under state law and promised they would stop interfering with normal farming operations. I framed that letter and hung it in my office. Today, my cows still graze the same fields they've used for decades. The milk trucks still arrive before sunrise. The tractors still work during harvest season. And the only inspectors visiting these days are customers who stop by our farm store for fresh cheese and ice cream. The HOA wanted to get rid of my dairy herd. Instead, they ended up inspecting themselves. Sometimes the quickest way to lose a fight is to start one with someone who has been following the rules all along.